My name is Vincent de Sadler. I'm from Belgium. I live in a small town in Belgium, close to the French border. And I'm here on the second National Timberwolves Pubs reunion, and it's my first time here in America. Yeah.
And how long are you staying?
I'm staying here for 3 weeks in America. I've been to Oregon, visited Camp Adair, Fort Vancouver. I saw my first canyon. Apparently it wasn't a big one, just 400 feet. We went to Sisters, Bend, and Redmond, where the Oregon maneuvers happened, where the 104th Infantry Division, together with the 91st Infantry Division, were the Blue Task Force, and the 96th Infantry Division was the Red Task Force. Was also the place where they had the first time they could use their night tactics. So that was really nice to see, and yeah, I saw the West Coast. Now I'm here in Colorado Springs, and I'm here at the reunion. Today we saw the Garden of the Gods. We saw the Memorial Park in Colorado Springs, and saw the Timberwolf Monument, together with the monuments of Fort Carson, the POWs and Missing in Actions, Purple Heart, and a lot of other monuments.
Mm-hmm. Where are you going next, before you go home?
I'll go to Kansas for 1 day, because a friend of mine, Ben, has adopted several graves at the cemetery of Orange Chapel, and it's really a long story. He, how do I say it? When he started that adaptation program, he got the name, he Googled it, and he came out with the University of Arkansas. And apparently Gerald M. Bryant, the person who he adopted, was a student of the university, and they have a monument over there, and there's a professor looking for research, and that's how he got in contact with that professor. And the professor had the wonderful idea to tell the story of Ben, his research, to a local television station. They interviewed him for Veterans Day. They put it out, and somebody that knew the family saw the show they did about it, and a week later they did a special about the widow and the son of Gerald M. Bryant, who were thanking Ben for what he has done and his research. And now we're going to visit the family on Tuesday, and Tuesday evening we go to Vicksburg, Mississippi for 10 days or a bit longer.
Program?
Yeah, it's a program in Belgium and Holland. It's only for 3 cemeteries. It's, I have to think, it's Neuville-en-Condroz, Henri Chapelle, and Margraten Cemetery. And you have the possibility to adopt a person who is killed in action or missing in action at the Wall of Missing. And it's not exactly that you have to go and clean the stone and trim the grass just around the cross. It's more to say thank you to the veterans for and the fallen soldiers, what they have done, and let the people know, if they're still relatives, that it's not forgotten. It's not. I don't know the exact word in English, but it's. Yeah, it's not that we have to do the cleaning and all, but we visit a lot, we do the research, and a couple of our groups and a couple of other people in Europe have adopted several graves of Timberwolf soldiers and even of other soldiers. So that's how the program works. Well, when I was younger, around 8 years old, 9 years old, I was really interested in military stuff. It was global military stuff. It was old or new, it doesn't care. It was military, that was fine for me. At the age of 15, I got the chance to buy a World War I uniform, an American World War I uniform, what I did. And At the age of 18, I had a small collection. I had my World War I uniform all dressed up. I had a couple of stuff and clothes of Second World War American. And I met a guy in my hometown who did reenacting. And he asked if I wanted to join his unit that they portray, and I said, yeah, I can give it a try. And I didn't get so good along with the group about how they reenacted. They did more photo shoots and stuff, and I'm more like the person who wants to go out to the public to show the people what they did, how they did it, and it's not something I want to do private. I want to show it to everybody. And after 7 months or something with that group, I decided to go my own way and started my own reenactment group. And my best friend, David, who's not here, unfortunately, we were thinking about doing an American unit, but we wanted to do an American unit who actually fought in the Dutch-speaking part of Belgium. And we were just opening the collector's guide. It's a book about everything you can find of American World War II uniforms and stuff. And we were looking at the patches, and they always put a little bit details about where they fought. And we were just looking, oh, that one was in Belgium, that was in Belgium. And after a while, we were researching every division. And the Timberwolf story just, was more, it was more appealing to us. It told us, it really, it's a wonderful story. You have to know the story to really know how it feels for us. And we started more research about the Timberwolves. We went on a couple of events, and people started recognizing us. And we met the foundation Friends of the Timberwolves, who live in the vicinity of Zundert and Achtmal, that are towns who were liberated by the Timberwolves. And they told us a lot about the Timberwolves. They showed us a lot of pictures to really get our unit, really get to do it right, and not just a loose bunch of morons running around. So, and we got in contact with NTA, the National Timberwolf Association, and they did their last tour in 2010, and we were invited to hang around a couple of days. So we went along. I met a couple of veterans, a lot of pubs, and the year after they did a second tour, and we were again invited. And now it's the third time I'm invited for the reunion, and it's the first time I actually can come here, so it's really something big. No, we don't have a lot of history where I live. You have the high school, and there's only 1 hour a week. You have lessons about history, and you can do, if you want, go to college for...
You're here alone? Did you come to the States alone?
No, I came here with Esther Eenhuizen and with Ben de Starke. I met Esther on the 2010 tour. We didn't had the chance to talk a lot because it was new for me, it was new for her. And we became Facebook buddies, and we started talking. We met each other at local reenactment events or at Timberwolf sites, and we began to become really good friends. And well, Ben is one of the guys in our group, who was one of the founding members of our reenactment group. He was the fourth member, and yeah. We're really good friends, and I asked my other Belgian friends if they wanted to come on this tour, and they all wanted to come, but not all had the money. So I had the money, and Ben was looking, and he had also the money, so we were thinking about, and we're sharing a room, and so to lower the cost, and that's how we got. Not on radio or television. I've been interviewed by a local newspaper who, on a big event in the city of Antwerp. A couple of other members of us were also interviewed. if schools want to, we can go to schools and tell them the stories about the Timberwolves, but also the stories about all the Allied forces. We went also, we have also had an article published in a big reenactment magazine in Europe. Yeah, if people ask us to do something special, we're most helpful to do it, so that history is not forgotten.
Great. And you recruit when you're doing that? You say, hey, come on, you should try this. Come and
At the beginning we did it, we motivate guys, yeah, come with us, but we noticed if you motivate or try to recruit people, they do it for the wrong reasons, or they're not happy of doing it. And now we're not actually recruiting. If we see people who are interested, we just ask, if you want to come join us, go ahead. Don't have to pay membership or something like it. Just come along with us. We have a lot of spare webbing and clothes that they can use, and if they like it, they can become a member. They can look for clothes, for the weapons, for everything. So that's how our group works.
And do you do simulated campaigns or simulated battles?
It happens. In Europe, it's a big thing. We try to stay away from it as much as possible, unless it's with a group that we know and that we can trust, because it happened that there happens to be accidents or people don't take it serious enough. You're still using rifles, you're still shooting blanks, and a blank, the flame out of it is about a yard big, so long. And if there's something in your, in the tube, in the barrel, it can go out and it could wound people. So we only do mock battles, like they call it in Europe. We only do that with people we know that we can trust, and especially when we want to do something really neat. We had the chance to do a mock battle, and we were in an M16 half-track. That's a vehicle with 4 50 cal machine guns mounted to do anti-air. And we had 2 airplanes do flybys constantly, and I was the guy who was sitting in the AA because I was the smallest one I fitted in. Yeah, constantly turning around. Unfortunately, the 50 cals didn't work, but it gave the people who were looking at the mock battle a good, how do you say it, a good, yeah, they saw how it could have been through the war. And that's what we mainly want to do, not do any cowboy Indian reenactment, but really do it serious.
You're quite a student of the 104th Timberwolf. Why?
Just because their story is so interesting. If you look at what the division did, and it's really a special division. It was the first division who was went to France directly and not went to England before they went to France. They fought 195 days at a time. They're still the onlyest division who is specialized in night fighting tactics. Yeah, they did the Mark River crossing, they did the Roer River crossing. They liberated the concentration camp of Nordhausen. It's also the labor camp of Dora Mittelbau, where they built V1 rockets, and they made the special jet planes of Messerschmitt. And they met the Russians on the 26th of April in 45 at the Elbe River in Torgau and Prague, and not every division had done so much and did so much special things. And what we also have in Belgium, people look at television series and they see Band of Brothers and they're like, oh, we're gonna do Band of Brothers. I have a lot of respect for what the airborne troops do, what they did. I did my airborne jumps just to know how it was. and I did it with a round canopy, and I can tell it's hard what they did, but everybody does airborne, and the infantry divisions are forgotten, and that's what we wanted to do. We want to portray one division and assure those people and a lot of other infantry divisions that they are not forgotten. And occasionally we do another division if people ask us to do. It's no problem for us, but mainly for us it's the Timberwolves.
What's it like for you to spend time with the men who are actually those very veterans you speak about action in Europe? What's it like?
It's an honor. It really is. Some people will find it stupid what I'm going to say, but without those veterans or other allied soldiers, there will be a chance I would speak German right now. And that's something you won't forget if you're in Europe. And they really did a lot. They traveled thousands of miles for a war they don't even had any connection with it. They just did it because they believed in the freedom we had to have back, and that's wonderful. And if you talk to those people, they are grateful that we do this, but it's not to be remembered or to be grateful or to get stuff from the veterans. That's not why I do it. It's just to show my gratitude, what they did for us so many years ago.
You think you're going to keep doing it?
As long as possible. Yeah. There's going to be an age I'm going to stop reenacting because I'm getting too old. Already hear veterans tell me, "Oh, you're an old fella." So I'm getting older. I'm just 23. I know it's still young, but you can't portray an infantry soldier when you're 40 or 50 years old. So I probably will do something else, but I will still keep remembering the Timberwolves and all the other soldiers who fought for our freedom so many years ago. I have a couple of them. My mother's grandmother always had a story. She told that my mom, and my mom passed it on to me, and she told me that she liked the Germans more than the English. And it's really weird for probably all the people in America to think that, but when the Germans were in Belgium, they leave the civilians alone. They didn't mess around with the civilians, except what Gestapo and other divisions did. And when the Germans went away and the British were coming, they almost plundered the city to get all the food, to get all the equipment, to get everything sorted out, to get back on the move as fast as they could. So that was something a couple of people and my mother's grandmother remembered about the war. With my work, I'm a plumber, and there was one person, I don't recall his name right now, but he was sent to a labor camp in Germany, and he told me that he remembered that he was around 20 miles from the town of Dresden, and he saw the bombing of Dresden and the glowing of the fires of a distance of 20 miles away. Another thing, another thing I can tell you is about my family. I had 4 family members. One on my grandmother's mother's side, and one on my grandmother's side on my father's side, and one on my grandfather's side on my father's side. And they were all in the Belgian army before the war started. And the war started in Belgium on the 10th of May in 1940, and the Belgian army surrendered 18 days later, the 28th of May 1940. A lot of people in America will think that's a short time to surrender, but the Dutch people surrendered in about 4 days, and Holland is about twice the size of Belgium. Denmark did it in an hour, Luxembourg did it in a day, It took France 5 weeks, but France is, yeah, I think 10 times the size of Belgium. So I think for a little country we did it good, but we also had a big army. We had one of 6 civilians was in the army, so we had an army of 600,000 persons. And they, after the war, after Belgium surrendered in 1940, a lot of right social parties came up, and at that time, a lot of people were right-minded. They believed what was true. They heard from the church it was true, and they enlisted themselves to fight in a foreign legion, the Flemish Legion, to go to fight together with the Germans, not for the Germans, but with the Germans, to fight against the communists, because they always believed that the communist was a threat to Europe, and they thought the Germans would do everything right. And after the war, they figured out it was not that good, but a lot of people still believed in it because what they did, they thought was right. And I'm a bit proud of what my folks did at that time, because they believed what was right. Another example that I can use is the reverend, or the priest. In Belgium it's a priest. At that time the priest said, you have to go and fight together with the Germans against the communists, because the communists are the threat. But when the war was over, that same priest told to everybody else, look at those cowards who fought with the Germans or for the Germans and betrayed our country. So that's a small twist, and I still am proud that they did what they thought was right. Eventually, of the 4 members I had, only 2 survived. One was sent to a prisoner of war camp in Russia and never came out of it. And another one, 2 of them, I have to think about the names. It's Leon and Camille. And Camille survived the war, and Leon died at the arms of his brother. He's buried in Poland at the river where they fought. And there was, when I heard the story at the first time, it was really, really inspiring. And also, if you know the history about it and how that it comes, that a lot of people from Belgium, but also from Holland and from France, even from America and England, joined a foreign legion to fight against the communists. It's really interesting. I'm proud of what they did. I'm not going to say that it was right, but I'm proud that they believed what they were doing at that time. And the other family member, Albert de Sadlier, he was sent to the Junkerschule in Tolz to learn to become an officer, and he was an officer in that legion. The ranks in that legion were the SS ranks, but they weren't Waffen-SS. Well, it's a difference between Waffen-SS and the normal SS, as everybody know. I'm not going to tell about it because it's going to get too long. But he was an SS officer. He was, and after the war, he was sent to Argentina. Well, not sent. He fled to Argentina. He opened there, how do you say it? An oil pumping station at the sea. In the 80s, the Belgian king went to Argentina, and he visited Argentina, but they were looking for a lot of Belgian people in Argentina who were a bit of wealthy, who were known in Argentina. So they knew that guy, Albert de Sadler, and they sent him, and he had a picture with the Belgian king. And it's really weird if you know that that's the Belgian king, and he was a former officer in a foreign legion who fought together with the Germans. So that's a bit funny. So That's a couple of the stories I have related where I live. So.
What's the most important thing you've learned in all your work and all your research? Just for you, I mean, what's your takeaway?
What my takeaway? Don't point at people and say what you did was wrong or what you did was good. Everybody at that time did what they wanted, what they thought was right. I even hear veterans say, even Timberwolves veterans, if we know the guy, I'm gonna quote them, if we know those soldiers and another time, at another place, at another happening, we could be friends. And think that that was right. You get, of course, the crazy people and the stupid people who did do the things with the minority groups and the Jews and put them in concentration camps. With what I will never say it's okay. You can't do anything like it. But yeah, that's the main part. Don't judge a book by its cover. Listen to the story, listen what they have to say, and then point at people and say what they did or what they didn't do. There's one veteran, John Tyrell. He's becoming really a good friend of mine. We know each other already for 2 years. He's always saying, I'm feeling sorry that after 15 minutes of fighting, he had to be sent home because he was severely wounded. And he's really sorry that he let down his friends, and I told to him, I can understand that, but don't be sorry. You were one of the lucky ones, and you did fight, even for 15 minutes. That 15 minutes did change a lot for the happening of the war. So that's, yeah, something,